11 of the 2002 NFL season. And Melissa Stark down on the field with Kurt Warner. Melissa?
Well, Al, for the first time since 1998, Kurt Warner, the #2 quarterback. Kurt, Marc Bulger's won 4 straight games in your absence. What's impressed you the most about his play?
Probably the biggest thing is when a young guy comes in, a lot of times they try to do too much. They try to force things. And he's really played within himself, allowed the guys around him to make plays, not trying to do everything himself. And that's very unheard of for a young guy that hasn't played very much. And that's what's probably impressed me the most.
You told us this weekend that your right pinky's finally healed. Marc has already declared you the starter for next week. Are you concerned at all about disrupting the rhythm that the team's established in your absence?
Not at all. This is about a team game, and it's not about one position. And I'm going to go in and do what I've done for 3 years now, and everybody else is going to play at a high level like they have been, and we're going to keep this thing rolling.
Thanks a lot.
You bet.
All right, Al, well, the Rams trying to become just the 2nd team in NFL history, joining last year's Redskins to win 5 straight games after starting the season 0-5.
And no team, Melissa, has started 0-5 and gone to the playoffs, but the Rams have a very decent chance. Marc was the offensive coordinator under Dick Vermeil when they won the Super Bowl following the '99 season. Then he took them to the playoffs in 2000. Got them, of course, to the Super Bowl last year. And Dick Duran, meanwhile, led the Bears to a 13-3 mark last season, but then they were bounced out of the playoffs by the Philadelphia Eagles. This year they start with 2 wins and now 7 straight losses, and Paul Edinger will kick off to get this one underway in St. Louis. Terrence Wilkins, former Colt, to receive, and Marc Bulger ready to start the game when the Rams get the ball. Wilkins from the 9-yard line, straight up the middle, good run back, and then finally taken down up at the 35 by Mike Green. And let's take a look at the Rams offensively.
Marc Bulger, West Virginia.
Lamar Gordon, North Dakota State.
James Hodgins, San Jose State.
Isaac Bruce, Memphis. Big Game Torrey Holt, North Carolina State.
Ernie Conwell, Washington.
Orlando Pace, The Ohio State University.
Tom Newton, Western Michigan.
Andy McCollum, Toledo.
Adam Timmerman, South Dakota State.
John St. Clair, Virginia.
And that offensive line, of course, leading the way for their #3 draft choice, Lamar Gordon. Falk out. Bulger gets the start against a 4-man Chicago defensive front. Bruce is the man in motion, and they begin the game with Gordon. And Gordon is able to slip Urlacher's initial tackle and then is taken down as we take a look at the Chicago defense.
Philip Daniels, Georgia.
Brian Robinson, Fresno State.
Keith Traylor, Central Oklahoma.
Alex Bryan, Florida.
Roosevelt Colvin, Purdue.
Brian Urlacher, New Mexico.
Bobby Howard, Notre Dame.
R.W. McQuarters, The Oklahoma State University.
Mike Green, Northwestern State, Louisiana.
Michael Brown, Nebraska.
Jerry Azuma, New Hampshire.
There is Marshall Faulk, who figures to play next week. He was questionable coming into tonight's game, but they put him in civvies. Should play next week at Washington. 2nd and 10, and Bulger nearly gets sacked and then throws under pressure, and it's incomplete, intended for Ricky Prohl. A lot of pressure that time.
They're going to test Marc Bulger right away. They came in on 2nd down with a 4-1-6, 4 defensive linemen, 1 linebacker, 6 defensive backs, and they overload the right side of the defense, the left side of the offense. They overload on this side, and here's where they bring the pressure. And you see they get free right there, and he's right at Bulger's left leg so that he can't step up. Then he just had to throw the ball away. That kind of tells you what the Bears, how they want to start. They're going to put some pressure on him. Now they look like they're going to play coverage.
Now they rush 5. 3 linemen, 2 backers, and it is caught out in the flat by Gordon, and Urlacher chases him down, but not until he picks up 17 to the Chicago 48-yard line.
And that was who would have thought, Marc Bulger right away to Lamar Gordon. They need a big play on 3rd down, and he goes to the rookie from North Dakota State. Right here he comes down, he's looking downfield, then he comes to his outlet out here to the right, Lamar Gordon. That's the thing that impresses me about Bulger, how he can get back in the pocket and be so calm about the whole thing.
It's amazing he didn't throw a pass in an NFL game until a month ago. Looks like a 10-year veteran. 3 receivers set to the left, and on a draw they give it to Gordon through the middle, picks up 1 to the Chicago 47-yard line. Gordon out of Little North Dakota State. He's a kid out of Milwaukee. Charlie Army, their great personnel man here in St. Louis, used to coach at North Dakota State. Lovie Smith, the defensive coordinator, has a lot of friends up there. They did their homework on him, and they said, you know what, this kid's really good. He might be the best running back in the draft, they felt.
Well, and he's a tough guy, and he runs hard. I know last week they brought him in the game. Marshall Falk was hurt, and they needed a spark. You know, everyone was kind of down when Marshall went out, and this guy came in and gave him a life.
2nd and 9, and Bulger goes deep, and it is incomplete. Crowd wants a flag, doesn't get it. Intended for Torrey Holt, blanketed by Jerry Azuma.
You know, that's one of the matchups we're going to see all night is Torrey Holt against Jerry Azuma. Although Azuma does have help from Mike Brown. See, he can play underneath. In fact, he grabs a little because he has a safety coming over the top. So he can play tight and he can play underneath Holt a little and get between Torrey Holt, the receiver, and Marc Bulger, the quarterback.
3rd down and 9 now on the opening drive of the game. Couple of minutes in. Azuma on Holt. John talking about that matchup. We'll see it all night as Bulger retreats, sets up in the pocket beautifully, throws over the middle, caught over the middle by Isaac Bruce to a chorus of Bruce to the 26-yard line, 21 yards.
And Isaac Bruce runs that pattern, and the Rams run that pattern better than anyone in football. This is the one that you have to be able to throw the deep end. You see, he gets the inside move right there, then he just comes straight across about 15 to 17 yards. Watch Marc Bulger here. I mean, you talk about a quick release. I mean, that's in slow motion, but that ball is, boom, it's up there and right out of his hands. This kid, I swear, he's something special. I mean, you look at him, he has skinny arms, you wonder where it comes from, but he has some stuff in there.
Went to the same high school in Pittsburgh as did Dan Marino. Throws it out here, beautiful, on the money to Bruce, inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal for St. Louis.
Yep. Isaac Bruce ran the in, and then he comes right back. They expect the in again, and he runs the corner.
You saw Warner on the headset. He's calling the plays in after March calls the play.
See, here he goes. He starts to the inside, and then he comes back out. And I'll tell you, that's at cover 2. Isaac Bruce gets between the corner and the safety, and Bulger throws a perfect pass.
Bobby Howard, the linebacker, trailing on the coverage. 4-man front for Chicago. 1st and goal. They give it to Gordon, and that's Urlacher, who couldn't take him down, but he stops his momentum to the extent that he is stopped at the 3-yard line after a pickup of 1.
And the way Marc Bulger's looked on this drive here, he kind of looked like Rich Gannon did last Monday night. Rick Blosh is trying to figure out what he has to do to stop him. He's tried everything. He's used the man coverage. He's used the blitz. He's used the 3-man line. He has really mixed up his defenses and his coverage, and Marc Bulger has taken advantage of all of them.
Rams a move from their own 35 for the Chicago 3, and on 2nd down, Gordon through the middle, and he'll take the pile to the 1 before the whistle ends the play. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 1. Urlacher, 54. He'll be in the middle of everything tonight. He's all over the field.
Yeah, and you know, and he reads the guards, and he reads the back, and he's going to, if they can just hold the blockers off him, Brian Urlacher is going to get to the play.
Rams have scored 4 touchdowns this season on their first drive of a game. The Steelers lead the league with 5. Meanwhile, Chicago has not scored a single point this season on any opening drive. 3rd down and goal from the 1. Fake, and then a give to Conwell, the tight end. They love to run that play. Touchdown. Ernie Conwell, who scored last week, scores on the opening drive tonight.
Yeah, I was watching that play on Saturday night. They were running it. I said, this play is never going to work. They run it all the time. Here's Conwell here. He's going to come back here and run right through here. I say, you know, when you have backs and you have great receivers and so on, why do you run this play? Well, the Rams just showed me why. See, what they do is they get Urlacher going the other way. That's what they want to do. They want to influence him. I think they just had a conference.
Yeah, they didn't get any exposure on the first series.
Okay, that's it. Let him play.
Now Jeff Wilkins for the point after. And so the Rams in 4 minutes, 55 seconds, 10 plays, 65 yards, just like that. 7-0 Rams. It's both. It's either.
I'd do neither and neither.
It's either neither or neither.
Yeah, that was a heck of a start there for the Rams. I think when you're playing a team like the Bears that come in here and they're down, they've lost 7 in a row. You don't want them to get any confidence at all. And that drive, if the Bears came in with any confidence at all defensively, I think that drive took away what confidence they had.
Mitch Bulger. And the kick is fielded at the 2-yard line by Ahmad Merritt to the 25. 7-0. Rams scoring on the opening drive. Now Chris Chandler, the quarterback. And the Bears' first offensive play is a Chandler pass over the middle, pulled in by Marty Booker. Nice start, and a gain out to the 49-yard line.
Marty Booker, one of the top receivers in the whole NFL. You watch, he just starts up, and we said that, that Chris Chandler has to get rid of the ball quickly, and that's a pattern that you can. It's what you call a skinny post. You just go up and to the inside, you just go back, and the minute that back foot drops, Chris Chandler lets it go to Marty Booker.
Booker caught 100 balls last year. Leads the team this season, 52. 9 games in. Anthony Thomas across the 50 to the 48. Let's take a look at the Chicago offensive 11.
Chris Chandler, Washington.
Anthony Thomas, Michigan.
Damon Shelton, Sacramento State.
Marty Booker, Northeast Louisiana.
Des White, Georgia Tech.
John Davis, Emporia State.
Mark Colombo, Boston College.
Mike Gandy, Notre Dame.
Kevin Doggins, Texas A&M Kingsville.
Chris Valario, Indiana, University of Pennsylvania.
James Williams, Cheney University.
James Big Cat Williams, 12th year. Young left side of the line, though. Colombo, their #1 pick out of Boston College. Gandy, the left guard, 2nd year out of Notre Dame. Chandler fires, and it is incomplete, intended for 88 Marcus Robinson. Let's take a look at the Ram D.
Leonard Little, Tennessee.
Ryan Pickett, The Ohio State University.
Jeff Scanina, Purdue University.
Grant Wistrom, Nebraska.
Robert Thomas, UCLA.
Jamie Duncan, Vanderbilt.
Tommy Pollard, Florida State.
Travis Fisher, Central Florida. Adam Archuleta, Arizona State.
Ken Herring, Penn State.
Dre Bly, North Carolina.
There is Olin Kreutz. There's a flag down before the next snap.
Illegal substitution. 12 men in the huddle. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Going to make it 3rd down and 11. Kreutz, the center, we just saw him, was a Pro Bowl center, had an appendectomy on Monday, so he's out, and they hope to have him back next Sunday against Detroit and Champaign.
Yeah, he played last Sunday and didn't feel well, and then after the game they checked him out and found out that he had appendicitis problem. They operated on him on Monday, and there was some thought that he may be able to play tonight.
But no, they go with the ex-Buck Kevin Doggins. Now 3rd and 11, Chandler out of the shotgun. Rams pressure him, and it's a little dump off and almost intercepted, almost picked by Tyoka Jackson. But a lot of pressure that time. The Rams forcing it from their ends. Wistrom and Little, you see that a lot tonight.
Yeah, here's Little here, and he's going to be the first guy. Wistrom comes from that side, but you see what happened is Chandler, he kind of fumbled the snap a little. So that got him a little off of his rhythm, and here's Wistrom high and Little low.
So for the 10th consecutive game, the Bears do not score a single point on an opening drive after the Rams here get a touchdown. Brad Maynard to punt. Angle kick, fair catch called for, and then made inside the 10 by Terrence Wilkins, where you normally let it bounce, but he fair catches it. I think they'll spot it at about the 8-yard line. 8:24 to go, opening period. St. Louis 7, Chicago nothing. 65 yards. How good was Marc Bulger last week? We'll take a look at this. Guys who threw for 450 or more yards in a game with no picks and no sacks. Tittle, Aikman, Bulger. Look at the games it took. It took YA 145 games. Troy 136. Mark 4.
That's amazing. I mean, and the thing that this kid does is amazing. You know, we just saw it on that first drive, but He's been playing like that for a month.
Good protection, good fake, long gain. Conwell, who scored the touchdown, off and running to the Chicago 40 from the 8 across midfield to the 40, 52 yards. And a first down, of course, at the 40, and there may have been a flag at the end of the play.
This is what Marc Bulger sees. You see, you get a play pass. Now look how that held the linebackers and bunched everyone up. Then you get your tight end right down the middle, and you just have to throw it over a linebacker. Rosie Colvin, number 59, is the closest bear there. He knew when he had to play pass. He knew he had him held. Then he just kind of lobbed that ball up there to Ernie Conwell.
And here comes the penalty. It's going to be against McQuarters.
Oh, that's that old second guy, isn't it?
Yeah, Bruce had him first, and McQuarters hits him, gets a personal foul, and tacked on 15 to the 52. Yep, exactly right.
Yeah. You know, that was a heck of a play, though. I mean, you know, you do that against an aggressive defense on a run down. First down, they're planning in there for run. The linebackers are in there tight. Give them play pass.
Here's Gordon, subbing for 4. Minimal gain.
The other thing that impressed me about Marc Bulger is he can make all the throws, and you know, and you have to. Here's the type of throws you have to do. If you're going to play for the Rams, you have to throw that deep in, and we've already seen him do that. Then you have to be able to move and throw that comeback or that play to the sideline. And then, of course, you have to be able to throw at the corner because they run that better than anyone, and then you have to be able to throw the up. And if you watch Marc Bulger in this last month, he has made all those throws. In fact, he started this game making them all.
Right on the money. 2nd and 10, a little toss, a little trickery. They give the ball to Torrey Holt on a reverse, a first down, and he takes it all the way down to the 10-yard line. Stopped there by Mike Brown. So Torrey Holt taking the handoff, and Mike March is at it again.
And I'll tell you, he mixes everything up. I mean, he's done everything. He's thrown screen passes, he's thrown deep, he's thrown short, he's thrown play pass, he's run to the tight end. Here again, he starts a reverse. It starts off a counter, then it goes back to Torrey Holt. Watch Marc Bulger here. He's out here leading. Not the biggest of blockers, but not a bad block out there.
First rush of the season for Holt. Of course, Conwell, the tight end, has already rushed for a touchdown. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Bulger, great protection, guns it. That's incomplete. Broken up at the 3, intended for Brandon Manu Maliuna. And what amazes me, John, is you go with a kid quarterback in his 5th start, a rookie running back, and yet Mike March has his system, has his scheme, doesn't change anything.
No, and that's what he says. I mean, he knows one way to play. In fact, we were talking to Greg Blash about it, and he said that Mike March has 124 formations. He said they've taken it off, and they play 120 formations, even with the 3rd quarterback. And he said it's really tough to defend. He said he's so impressed with these coaches, the way they teach all this stuff. Here's a new one right here. Yep. 5 wide receivers.
5 wide outs. They call this the termite formation. And Bulger loses the ball at the 15-yard line. Roosevelt Coleman caused the fumble, and Chicago has it. So the Rams marching down the field, looking for certain it would be 14-0. Instead, Chicago gets the exact break it needs. Chicago, after the Alex Brown recovery created by Colvin, who gets a sack and a forced fumble. On first down, Leon Johnson is in the backfield, and Leon is taken down by Leonard Little. They start with Anthony Thomas, who was a 1,000-yard back as a rookie, but they want to get Johnson in the game. They did early last week and do again tonight.
That's the thing that Dick Duran was talking about last night is a change of pace. He really likes Leon Johnson, and he said that he would like to get him more touches, but somewhere to get more touches, your offense has to do something. You have to get first downs, you have to have the ball, and you can want to do a lot of these things, but if you don't have the ball and get first down, then you don't have enough plays to do any of them.
So Thomas out, at least for a series. 2nd and 9. Rams showing blitz, and here they come. And Chandler, pressured from behind, gets it off and completes it, but for a very short gain to Marty Booker, as the pressure was put on, as it will be all night, by Grant Wistrom.
Yeah, and it was from his backside. It was one of those zone dogs. Watch Adam Archuleta. He's a safety, and you're going to see him come up, and try and hit it right as the ball snapped. He's a little late, but that was the overload, and they got that pressure from Chris Chandler's backside. Watch it right here. It'll come from his left side, right there. They have an overload there. They had one extra defender to that left side.
Doggins took out Archuleta, but Western forced the issue. 3rd down and 7. Noisy dome out of the shotgun. Chandler throws. Booker over the middle. And Marty Booker out to the 26 and a flag at the end of the play after, for the moment, he picks up a 1st down.
It's too bad that Marty Booker hasn't had some better players around him, because he's as close to one guy doing a lot of things.
Face mask, 15 yards, number 32 defense. 1st down.
Gray blind.
As you can get. I mean, you wonder how Marty Booker, instead of ending up with Chicago, how he would be if he were in this Ram offense, because he can make all the plays himself.
You know who he needed is Sid Luckman on the other side. Can you believe Sid Luckman still holds the Bears record for most touchdown passes and passing yardage?
No, that's why some teams can never get a quarterback like the Bears. They can never get a quarterback, and teams like the Rams, they just start falling off trees into the Rams.
It's amazing. From the 41-yard line. And that's thrown out of bounds. You go back with the Rams, of course, you have Norm Van Brocklin and Bob Waterfield through the years. And then with the Bears, there was Luckman, who played in the 40s mainly. Billy Wade would be next, another guy who played 40 years ago. And then McMahon is third in 67.
And then Ed Brown, he played in 1954. So you're right. And you wonder why. And it happens to some teams. Some teams can get running backs, some teams can't. Some teams can get great defensive linemen and linebackers, some teams can't. The Bears are a team that just can't seem to get a quarterback.
And you saw Jim Miller, who would be the starter, but he can't because of tendonitis in his elbow, but is available to play if needed tonight, as he did last week. Fake to Johnson, then Chandler's going to pack it in and gets necktied at the 46-yard line by Brian Young, the tackle.
Well, that's the last thing that Chandler needs in this game, is to get necktied. I mean, he came in, remember last week, he got it on a quarterback sneak. And it was a short yardage play, and he took a quarterback sneak, and he took a shot to the head, and then it went to his neck. And he said his neck was, really stiff on Wednesday. He started to loosen up, but when we talked to him last night, he said his neck is still stiff.
Chris, of course, has been in and out of the lineup through a lot of his career. 15 years. This is his 7th different team, and he has started at one point or another for each of them. 3rd down and 4. And Chandler falls down. May have tripped on his center's foot and then gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Wisterman Young.
Oh, and that's the thing. He knows he has to get rid of that ball, and that's exactly what it was. His center is Kevin Doggins, and you're going to see it. He's going to step on his foot. Watch Chris Chandler here. There's a ball snap. Watch Doggins right there. He just stepped on his left foot. He got the right one out of there, and then it was the off foot or the left foot that Doggins stepped on.
So Doggins taking the place of the Pro Bowler Kreutz. That forces a punt. Maynard to kick. Terrence Wilkins is back. Chicago looking as if they'll fake it, and they will. And it's Maynard with a 1st down out of the back of the playbook. And why not? 7 straight losses, and it's a 1st down for Chicago.
That was the old bootleg play. Remember in the old days where you used to fake and then put the ball on your hip? That time, Maynard took the ball and he put it behind his back. He put it behind his back and held it there for a while. Watch him as he gets it here. He's going to fake the reverse, and then he puts the ball behind his back. You see, he hides it back there, then he fakes the kick, then he gets out there to the left, and there's not a Ram defender out there.
Maynard playing in his 90th game in the league. It's the first time he's ever run for a game.
You have to call that something when you take the ball and hide it behind your back. That has to be something.
Street ball. That'll put Thomas back in the game. He has a 1st down, and with good tough running takes it to the 19 behind a Doggins block.
I remember when Jimmy Johnson was coaching the Dallas Cowboys, and he used to call those plays on special teams momentum changes. And he felt when the other team had the momentum, to get the momentum back, you had to get it through special teams. And that's exactly what the Bears did on that play. They didn't have the momentum. They had lost it someplace. They had to get it back. It was a gutsy call. It was a heck of a play.
Dick Geron figuring out why not. 2 and 7, 7 straight defeats. Try to get back into the game, down by a touchdown from the 18-yard line, but look out, because here comes James Whitley, backed up corner off the corner for the sack.
And he was there, and that's that 6 defensive back package, and no one saw Whitley at all. There was no one picking him up. No one came out there and missed him or anything. He was just out there. He was unaccounted for. He was never accounted for. And you're just going to see that he's standing out here, and then he's just going to come. You see, he comes right here. They all block down. No one looks. No one sees him. And the first guy that realizes he's coming is Chris Chandler.
5-yard sack. Little over a minute to go in the period. Fake. Chandler almost gets sacked. Dumps it off as a Ram had his shirt, and there's a flag down at the 29-yard line, thrown by Jerry Austin.
Personal foul. Look the passer. 91 defense. Opposition goes. First down.
Leonard Little.
Well, you know one thing. This Ram defense is going after Chris Chandler. I mean, they feel that by going after him that they can get him out of the game, and you can see him blitzing more, rushing more, and they get this type of thing, and they want to get him out of the game. And you can see here they're all going after. I mean, they're going after him like this is something. There's some sugar on something here.
Lovie Smith, the defensive coordinator, came over from Tampa Bay last year to really turn the Ram defense around. This year playing not quite as well as they did last season, but still pretty good, especially lately.
Yeah, and they don't blitz a lot, but they're blitzing the Bears more tonight than normal. But when they do blitz, it's in this area inside the 20-yard line.
First down from the 12. Thomas hit hard after a gain of 1. Archuleta among those, and Travis Fisher as well.
That Archuleta is something, isn't he? I mean, he's a linebacker in the body of a defensive back. And you just see that he'll play that position. Anytime that Lovie Smith can bring Adam Archuleta up to this area, in that linebacker area, that's where he wants him, because he has such a nose for the ball, and then when he gets there, watch him unload. I mean, he does something about it when he gets there.
One of their number 1 picks. They had 3 last year out of Arizona State. Thomas is the tailback here on 2nd down and 10. Fake to Thomas. Chandler under pressure. Chandler gets sacked by Grant Wistrom at the 23. He's had a great quarter. And a flag is down.
It's going to be against the Bears, and it was back here. It was back on this right side, away from the bootleg. One of the things that John Troop and the Bears is trying to do is move Chris Chandler around. The fake was to the right, and that's where the flag area was. Chandler went to the left.
Block on the right tackle and back. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
On the right tackle and back, whatever that means. James Williams.
What it means is James Williams is okay. He can be engaged, but watch James Williams. He'll be right here. Now, if he's engaged, if he has a guy engaged, if he's blocking a guy, then someone else can't come in and chop him when he's blocking him. Oop, he just went right out of the picture. It was over on the right side. That's what I said. The ball was on the left, and the penalty was on the right.
And that will be the end of the first quarter with Chicago driving. And the St. Louis Rams scoring on their first drive. So at the end of 1, it is start the 2nd quarter on Monday Night Football. The Chicago Bears trailing 7-0 and have a 3rd down and 20 now. And they've been coming to Chandler often and hard.
And they're going to come big on this time. But I think the Bears are in their empty backfield. I think they have to throw this one into the end zone. I'd go for a touchdown here.
3rd down and 20. Chandler to Robinson, makes a nice move, but then the Rams are able to converge and stop him after a very short gain and setting up a field goal attempt for Edinger.
Yeah, I was thinking if you're going to take a shot right there, because you're already in field goal range. I mean, if you're going to throw that, you may as well, throw one incomplete into the end zone and try and get a touchdown, because you have your field goal.
Instead underneath, and it is Edinger now to kick.
35. Watch the thing he goes through here. 1, 2, 3 back. Now he's not done. Now he gets that deal. Now he's going to go 1, 2, and then twirl. Then you got one more twirl right there. Turns his back completely to the goal.
He's good though. From 37 out. Bangs it through. He knocked Detroit out of the playoffs at the end of the game a couple of years ago and put the Rams in. So Jerron's team gets the fumble, marches down the field, and shaves the St. Louis lead to 4. Edinger to kick off. Bulger ready to come back in as Edinger's kick is fielded at the 10. Terrence Wilkins, ex-Colt, up to the 28-yard line. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, during the Rams' last drive when Marc Bulger took that hit, fumbled the ball, he sprained a ligament in his right index fingers. Now, the trainer checked him out, said he's okay to return, but certainly something to keep an eye on, see how it affects him. Of course, they've got Kurt Warner, though, as their number 2.
That's right. And here is Bulger, and we can see in a minute here exactly what happened.
Well, it's Rosie Colvin, and watch him. He's going to come in and put his right hand on the ball. And you see as the hand goes and knocks the ball out of Bulger's hand, he gets that right finger. In fact, Bulger, instead of grabbing for the ball, grabbed for his finger. And then he came off the field, and this was him trying to warm up here. And I knew that something was wrong when I saw him out there coming off the field and start warming up right away.
Timeout, injury timeout here. That is Courtney Bullard, the rookie out of Ohio State. Rams' 5th round pick, who was shaken up on the return. A minute into the second quarter. Back in St. Louis, the Dome, the Arch, downtown. Cortland Bullard shaken up on the run back, able to trot off the field, holding his side. Should be okay. There's Urlacher looking at the Ram offense, going to work here now as it's caught out at the 31-yard line by Lamar Gordon, and then Gordon is run out of bounds at the 36. Bulger's father, Jim, was a college quarterback, played under Ara Parsegian at Notre Dame about 30 years ago, now in the leasing business in Pittsburgh and here tonight.
And when you talk to Marc Bulger, you know, I was asking where he got that quick release, because he went to the same high school as Dan Marino, and and he's been a big Notre Dame fan all his life, and you expected one of those names, and the name was his dad. He said his dad got him started in all his fundamentals.
This is James Hodgins picking up 2. Interesting road that he took out of West Virginia. He had a good junior year, not so hot in the senior season with injuries. Picked in the 6th round by the Saints, never took a snap in training camp. Then he came to the Rams for a couple of weeks on the practice squad. Went to Atlanta on their practice squad. Then came back here last year, suited up as the 3rd quarterback. Didn't play in any game. And then, of course, after Warner got hurt and then Jamie Martin couldn't make it, in week 6, here he came, and he's 4-0.
Today in the NFL, it seems like quarterbacks come from anywhere and everywhere, don't they?
And on 3rd and 1, breaking through is Urlacher. Big play to stop the rookie Gordon and force a punt.
The Bears haven't had a lot of bright spots, but if you have to say where's the one bright spot, it's this guy right here, number 54. I mean, he's fun to talk to, he's fun to watch play, and he has fun playing. I mean, he read that perfectly. Now you can skate down the line, or you can go in. When you find a hole, you can take that hole and pursue from the Rams side of the line of scrimmage. And that's exactly what Brian Urlacher did.
Stepped right through that hole. Of course, he was everything at New Mexico. Receiver, safety, linebacker, running back, you name it. Berger's kick fielded at the 16-yard line by Leon Johnson. And the Rams converge on Johnson at the 24-yard line. 3 minutes into the second quarter in St. Louis, where the Rams are on top 7-3. From the 24-yard line, and we've got some news coming up here as Leon Johnson is the running back in this set. And they give it to Johnson. Stop for no gain, but the big story with the Rams, Melissa, what do you know?
Well, Al, another update on Marc Bulger. Apparently the sprained ligament in his index finger, the right index finger, is worse than they thought. They just went in, took him in for x-rays in the locker room. We'll keep you posted on those results. I saw Mike Marks look over at Kurt Warner and say, get ready.
Yeah, and he's getting ready right now.
And here's Bulger's injury again. Watch that. You see, he gets his right finger. Rosie Colvin is coming in. He goes to get the ball, and in doing so, he gets his right index finger.
2nd and 10. Rams back off the blitz, rush 4. Then the ball is caught over the middle. They go to the tight end. That's John Davis. And that should be a first down for Chicago.
Yeah, when I was looking down here in the Rams sideline and watching Kurt Warner warm up, you knew that he was warming up to go in the game. He wasn't just standing up to play catch. And now this is an interesting thing. I was talking to Kurt Warner the other day, and I was asking him. He said, well, the doctors thought he should have 1 more week rest, and that's why he didn't start tonight. Well, the question I had then, and I still have, if you can't start, if you should have 1 week's more rest, what happens if you have to play as a second quarterback?
Well, March didn't want to have to risk starting him tonight as Chandler gets great protection, but then throws a pass that he's lucky wasn't picked off by Dre Bly, intended for Marty Booker.
Oh, and Booker had Dre Bly, too. Had Chris Chandler been able to get about 5 more yards on that ball, that would have been a big play. Dre Bly figures,
he's punishing himself.
I got to warm up. What type of high school kid? I'll get into that. Here's Dre Bly right here. And you watch Marty Booker. He's going to get a step. You see, he has 2 or 3 steps on him right there. If that ball was out in front, that would have been a big, big play for the Bears. Dre Bly is punishing himself doing push-ups.
Saylor, give me 50. 2nd and 10 at the 35-yard line. Johnson, ex-Jet. 43, 3rd and 2, more on Bulger. What do you know, Melissa?
Well, Al, he said that he was losing strength in the finger, that it's definitely swelling up, and that he couldn't feel the ball. So that's what we know at this point. We'll let you know the update on the x-rays as soon as we get them.
He's back in the locker room. Warner ready to come in when the Rams get the football with 10:15 remaining in the first half.
And that was the biggest thing, too, with Kurt Warner, Al. He was talking about getting his strength back in his grip of the ball. That was the last thing to come back.
Bulger leading the league in pass rating. Warner, of course, is the all-time pass rating leader. Chandler deep, and it is incomplete. He tried to go to the running back, the fullback Stanley Pritchett, who caught a touchdown pass last week. Archuleta covering on the play.
That was a good play. I mean, if you're going to go for one, that's exactly the way to do it. What they did is he bootlegged to the right. You see Chandler goes away. Here, Pritchett comes right down here. He gets by Archuleta. I was talking about Archuleta being a great tackler, a linebacker in a safety spot, and he covers like that, too. If he does have a weakness, you can get things on Adam Archuleta.
So the Bears going for it on 3rd and 2, going deep, and now Maynard forced the punt. This time conventionally. Fair catch called for, made, 16-yard line by Terrence Wilkins. So for the first time since week 4, since September, when he broke his pinky against Dallas, Warner sees action when we come back. Here on ABC. So Kurt Warner, since the Dallas game on the 29th of September, on the shelf, highest pass rating in the history of the league, 99.9, with 99 touchdown passes. Gets sacked, and what a welcome back that is. Keith Traylor is the welcome wagon.
I'll tell you, when he's a welcome wagon, he is going to smother you. Keith Traylor, you know, that big tackle that usually stuffs a run but can also move. In fact, he was a linebacker before he grew into a tackle. But watch him come down the line. He starts out right here. He was on a stunt, and he's just running right down the line with Kurt Warner. He finds a little hole right there, and then he does a flop job on him. Big defensive tackles will always flop on little quarterbacks.
6'2" and 340 is Traylor. On 2nd and 17, Warner now swings it over the middle, and that's incomplete. Trying to get it into Torrey Holt. Let's go back to a couple of hours before the game when Warner came out to warm up.
You can still see that finger's bothering him. Watch him. He throws the ball, and then he'll grab the finger. And the big thing is the grip. You see, every time he would throw the ball, then he'd grab that little finger. In that little finger right there, he has 4 pins. And so he broke it down this way, and he broke it across this way. And you have to be rusty. I mean, he really didn't even practice with the first offense at all this week.
Last year, he was bothered by a thumb that bothered him all season long as Bruce makes the catch, but doesn't get the first. And John, a lot of people felt that even though Warner said, I'm fine, that thumb was still bothering him earlier this season.
Well, you know, something was bothering him early this season. I know that, you know, I talked to him and talked to coaches, and they said, no, there was nothing bothering him, but he wasn't throwing earlier in the season like Kurt Warner of a couple years ago. And they say that he always threw those wobbly spirals. I don't believe that. I always thought he threw a very accurate tight spiral.
So did I, but he was throwing a lot of ducks through the first 3 weeks of the year. Bulger, short punt, 39-yard line. Leon Johnson into Rams territory. And then he's taken down by Art Gilletta, who's all over the field, at the 32. So the Bears will set up shop in Rams territory. 8:23 remaining in the opening half on a night that looked as if the Rams would be on their way to a big blowout. But that fumble turned things around, and now Chicago's in pretty good shape. Bears have lost 7 straight in the history of Monday Night Football. We've had those teams come in with 7 or more losses. The last 4 have broken their streaks, including Chicago in '97. That was kind of a rump game, though. That was a game that was moved from Sunday to Monday night as the second Monday night game because the Marlins had to play Game 7 of the World Series in Miami the night before.
What do we call that, a rump game?
Rump game. This is caught by the tight end, Davis. Rump game and went to about 8% of the country.
You know, my whole life, I've never coached in a rump game. I coached every other kind of game at every level, but I never coached in a rump game.
You've never coached in a rump game. You haven't broadcast too many rump games either.
No, never broadcast. I've never seen. I don't think I've ever watched a rump game. But I'll tell you, you know, the Bears have made a couple big plays on special teams. Now, this is their second time they're in scoring position. The first one was off that fake punt, and the second one was this one here off that punt return.
Second down and 6 from the 29-yard line. Toss back to Thomas. Archuleta comes up, whiffs, but then the Rams are able to corral him at the 27. Now for the Bears, you talk about the difference between last year and this year. They got every break last year. Not very many injuries. Totally opposite. Last year, 8-1 in games decided by 8 points or less. This year, 2-5. They won both games in overtime last year, 0-2 this year. 31 players with 1 or more starts last year. Now through 9 games, the Bears have started 41 players, by far the most in the league this year, and already a franchise record in this, their 10th game. 3rd down and 4. From the 27-yard line. Chandler under pressure. Down he goes. The Rams have another sack. This one will go to Damian Lewis as Chris Chandler gets sacked for the 4th time in the game.
That's what you want to do. You want to get pressure from the outside, and then as he steps up, get pressure right up the middle.
And here's Bulger back on the field, so the x-rays must have been positive. Or negative.
You see, you watch the pressure from the outside. Now he's going to step up, and he steps right up to this. That's why, you know, your outside speed rushers are always going to come off the corner, but you also need that push in the middle, especially against Chris Chandler.
Here's Edinger now. 48-yard attempt from the 38-yard line. Has the distance and the accuracy. So as we say, those x-rays for Bulger were negative, but that's positive for the Rams, and we'll see if he comes back in. As Chicago is able to, on Edinger's second field goal, turn it into a 7-6 contest.
One of those things where you want a prevent, but you don't want to get too soft. You can see they're just using 3 defensive linemen, so they're going to rush 3, cover with 8.
Graphic illustrates how vulnerable they've been in the last couple of minutes of either half as Troy Edwards, the ex-Steeler who came over at the beginning of the season, makes the catch here.
Yeah, I think somewhere with a young quarterback like Marc Bulger in there, you don't want to play too soft. I think somewhere in here you want to pressure him. 2nd and 1. Guns it over the middle. That's caught. 48. Isaac Bruce into Bear territory and stepping out of bounds inside the 40. They'll mark it at the 39. I tell you one thing about Mike Marc and his offense, if you give them, just a little time, they're going to get back there and they're going to go deep. I mean, here's the thing we see again. They did bring a 4th rusher on here, but he got blocked. It was Brian Urlacher, and they gave. Look at the time that Marc Bulger has just to sit back, and he threw that right between 2 guys. Well, you talk about accuracy. That's about as accurate as a quarterback can throw a football. Now there's action up front. Bears saying they were induced. Ransom away. John St. Clair and Roosevelt Colvin.
We have offsides on the defense. Encroachment. Number 70 just made a normal adjustment.
Alfonso Boone.
Here's that last play, and you talk about accuracy. I mean, throwing that ball, and what the Rams do is they throw into windows. They throw on timing and into windows. That was a very, very tight window to Isaac Bruce.
I'm surprised Todd McMillan didn't put his hands out to try to knock it down. Rolling right by him. 1st and 5 from the 34-yard line. Bulger going deep. And a flag is thrown as Holt makes the catch out of bounds. But there's a penalty down, and that's McMillan who is covering on the play, 26. A push off or defense?
I think a lot of these things.
Number 81 offense. 10 yards. Repeat 1st down.
Oh, I was just going to say a lot of these times it's the offensive guy, but they very seldom call the offensive guy because it's usually one of those things where they get contact and both of them will push. But watching Torrey Holt here, he didn't argue at all about that play. McMillan has great position here. I don't see it yet. I don't know unless he got his left hand up there somewhere.
A little push there.
Yeah,
in the back.
And sometimes that's all it takes, is because the guy's turning. All you want to do is not push him down, just reroute him a little.
1st and 15. And that's caught. And out of bounds goes Holt for a 1st down to the 22-yard line. His first catch of the game.
It's about 2 things. It's about pass protection. They're giving Bulger great time here. And the other thing is a quick release. First of all, is the time. Look at the pocket he has. He can wait, step up, and just throw that ball. You see that quick release and that accuracy? I mean, this guy is something. I mean, I watch him practice, and every ball he throws is like that.
1st and 10, 49 ticks left. Rams with 1 timeout. Bulger. That's accurate. Right into the arms of Gordon. Touchdown. You could have Warner to Falk, or you can have Bulger to Gordon. Take your pick. It all looks the same in St. Louis.
And that's the thing, and again, it's a quick release, it's a good pass protection, it's being able to see, being able to understand, and these two, I mean, here you got a rookie running back, as you say, a guy playing his 4th game at quarterback, but they look like they've been together for 10 years.
Offsides against the defense obviously decline. Rams 12 times this season. In 10 games have gone 80 or more yards on a touchdown drive. They made this one look very easy, and Wilkins boots it through. So the Bears keep hanging in, staying right with the Rams. And then the Rams say enough of that, and they're up by 8 again.
I think when you say the greatest show on turf, I think this is what we're talking about. Again, you see the Bears, they have the 3-man line. They're bringing a little extra pressure up the middle, but look at the time Bulger had. I mean, he has time. Look at him, he's looking out here. And again, once he decides to throw, that ball is up there quickly and out of his hand. And mean, a big part of that was Marc Bulger, and I'll say another big part of it was this Ram offensive line or lack of rush as a Bear defensive line.
Bulger in the half is thrown for 211 yards. Speaking of turf, John, the Chicago Bears in the middle of November have still not played.
I'll tell you, it didn't bother him on that last drive, though. I mean, that last drive just before the half, he looked like Kurt Warner when Kurt Warner was playing at his best.
I said thumb. Let's make it more specific. It's the index finger as it's fielded by Merritt at the goal line. And Merritt brings it out to the 36-yard line as we check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, Bears starting left tackle Marc Colombo, their first-round draft choice out of Boston College, who was carted off the field at the end of the second quarter, dislocated the patella in his left knee. He's obviously out for who knows how long. Bernard Robertson takes his spot in the lineup, and Dick Duran said that they have to get better protection for Chris Chandler, who's been sacked 5 times. He said, I've challenged every single player to individually do his job better. He is disgusted with their short yardage running game, but overall, he feels like they are still in this.
Brand new left tackle, inexperienced left guard, new center taking over for Kreutz. That's going to be tough to do. 1st and 10, and the catch is made up at the 40-yard line by Marty Booker, who's taken down by Dre Bly. Numbers through the first 30 minutes. Bulger had a 211-yard passing half, 213 total for the team right there. And despite those 2 turnovers, John, double the yardage, 8-point lead.
Yeah, and that's how the Bears have stayed in this game. I mean, they've gotten a couple plays from their special teams, and they haven't had any turnovers. Because they haven't had a heck of a lot of offense either. And somewhere, as Dick Duran says, they need some pass protection, especially on 2nd and 3rd down. 2nd
and 5, and Duran challenging that line to create some space, and Thomas takes the ball close to a first down up at the 46-yard line.
I think it's a lot easier, obviously, to pass protect on 1st down than it is 2nd down. And it's a lot easier on 2nd down than it is 3rd down or 3rd and long. So those are the situations that they want to stay out of, because if they don't, you can see Chris Chandler was hit 12 times. He was knocked down 8. I mean, they've really gone after Chris Chandler and batted him around.
1st and 10 after the 5-yard gain from the 46-yard line. Chandler, quick strike to Des White, and Des White makes his first catch of the game.
Yeah, you can see that that's exactly what they're trying to do to help their pass protection, come out and throw on 1st down. That's when the Rams play run tough. That's when Adam Archuleta gets out. That's when they play 8 men in the box and those kinds of things. Then get the 2nd down. Now you can run or pass. This isn't a bad passing down, because if it's incomplete, you still have 3rd and short.
There's Aeneas Williams, the great cornerback through the years with the Cardinals and the Rams, who's done for the season. 2nd down and 2 from the 46-yard line. Go to the ground. Thomas picks up the 1st down, takes it to the St. Louis 42.
And now I would think the way they're playing this, now they would come back on 1st down and pass again. I mean, this isn't a bad rhythm type of thing to do. And then if you can complete that 1st down pass, then you can get that 2nd down run.
John Shoup, a very young offensive coordinator, sending in the play to Chris Chandler. 15th year, 7 different teams. Lovie Smith, the defensive coordinator. Chandler in '98 taking Atlanta to the Super Bowl. Chris flings it, and it's a little behind the intended receiver, Marcus Robinson.
And see, and that's the problem with that thing. You know, when you get the 1st down and you complete the pass, then you can run or pass on 2nd down, and it's a pretty good thing. Now, when you go incomplete on 1st down, and that's your plan, then you create 2nd and long. You see here, as you said, he's trying to throw to the left here, and it's just a little behind him, although you can make that play. Now, I would think with what the Bears are trying to do, I would think after you throw incomplete on 1st down with this plan, I think you'd come back and run on 2nd down, 2nd and long.
Play clock running down on 2nd and 10 from the 42. Fake the draw, buy some time to the outside, caught Booker, who got position on Dre Bly, picks up the 1st at the 29.
Well, Dick Duran said that he challenged that offensive line, and I'm surprised that the Ram defense goes for a play-action pass on first down, but they do. You see, they all get packed in there, and Chris Chandler has the time. I mean, he was looking to the right. He was trying to throw to the right, but he had a chance to slide back and throw it out here to the left to Marty Booker. Bears come out looking pretty good.
Yeah, hanging in the game.
Great mixture.
1st and 10 to the 29-yard line. Pressure on Chandler, gets it away, and might as well have been an incomplete pass because they would have lost yardage had Thomas come up with it. 2nd and 10. Chris Chandler, the son-in-law of John Brody, and nice to hear Chris telling us yesterday that John, who suffered a stroke about a year and a half ago, making real good progress. And our best to John and Sue Brody.
Remember John when he played with the 49ers? He was a great passer. I mean, he was a great passer at Stanford, a great passer for the 49ers, and one of the, how the screen pass is kind of coming back now. John Brody threw a screen pass better than anyone has ever thrown.
2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line. To the outside to Robinson for a short gain.
And that's exactly what Chris Chandler is doing. What they talked about last night is that short drop, shorter patterns, get rid of the ball quickly, get it out of there. Don't hold the ball. And I think when he was taking those hits earlier and those knockdowns and stuff is when he was holding the ball. And now, as you can see, that ball is coming out of there. 1, 2, 3, and on that 3rd step, that ball's out.
3rd and 5. 4 minutes into the 3rd period, opening drive of the half. From the 29, they picked up the Archuleta blitz. Pritchett makes the catch, and the fullback moves the chains as he gets to the 14-yard line.
And I'll tell you, Chris Chandler really took a shot. You see the blitz, but the guy that they didn't block is Leonard Little. You're going to see Archuleta. He's going to come up, and then the pressure is going to come from this side right here. You see Leonard Little, just as he was outside of that picture. I mean, he got rid of the ball, but just as he throws the ball, watch Leonard Little right there. I'll tell you, when a quarterback gets it like that, he gets it when the guy hits it, and then when he hits the turf.
From the 14, Pritchett, and he gets taken down by Tommy Polley. That's where the Rams have really stiffened this year. Red zone defense under Lovie Smith. The Rams statistics are so skewed when you look at the points they've given up this season. They came into the game, they gave up 196 points, but they've given up 8 return touchdowns and 7 conversions. That's 55 points off returns.
Right, and the reason they're so tough in this red zone is because they bend but don't break all over the field, and then they pressure or blitz when they get in the red zone. Here they come again.
Yep, 2nd and 9. And exploiting the blitz is Thomas for the touchdown. And an upcoming 2-point conversion to tie the game. So the Rams show blitz. They do blitz. Villarreal makes a great block.
I'll tell you, that was a heck of a call because it's 2nd and long. They're going to come all the way on a pass block. I watch Chris Valerio right there. He makes that block right there, and what a hole. I mean, Anthony Thomas could have just walked right through that thing.
I gave Chris the Latin pronunciation. In either tongue. Good block, good call, 14-12, and have the 2-point conversion. Instead, what was that all about?
I think it's so early in the game that the mother of the quarterback and the mother of the punt return, especially the mother of the quarterback, because you watch your son. That's the one person that you know that is going to watch one player the whole game. It's the mother of that player.
With their eyes half closed. 1st and 10 from the 18. Gordon.
I was watching Marc Bulger the other night at practice, and he reminded me so much of Kurt Warner. I think that, the teaching and coaching is such a big part. You watch them, they both have the same stance. They both have their left foot back. You see, here's Kurt Warner now on top. I watch how they set. They both set the same way. They have the same angles. Watch carry the ball. Bulger's a little lower, but watch how the ball comes up, and as it comes up, it comes right out. Both of them have a very quick release, and they're both very accurate. And when you break it down like that, they look a lot alike.
And they're playing in a dream system for a quarterback, as that one is deflected and then caught by a Ram. It's Bulger who gets it back. So he deflects it and then gets a reception as well.
Who was that did that a couple years ago and got a touchdown?
Brad Johnson did it.
Brad Johnson, yeah. But he threw a touchdown pass and caught a touchdown pass. Here, Bulger throws a pass and catches a pass. He's lucky that Keith Traylor didn't get it. Keith Traylor is the guy that knocked it up in the air. Remember last year, Keith Traylor intercepted one. Remember him going down the sideline?
Sure.
That was one of the great sights of last year.
Classic.
I tell you, yeah, and that's how he got it. He had an interception, and he came very close. He couldn't locate the ball in space.
Bulger so nonplussed after that, they have to take a timeout. Third down upcoming. Rams-Bears. Good game. Early on, if you joined us late, looked like the Rams were on their way to blowing Chicago out. Scored on the first drive. Good second drive. Marshall Faulk gone for the night. And in civvies, Lamar Gordon was there, but a big forced fumble by Roosevelt Colvin kept Chicago in the game early, and they're down by 1. 3rd and 5 after the Rams timeout, and they convert here as Ricky Prohl makes the catch. The 12th year Prohl out of Wake Forest, still going strong.
And, you know, he does that. I mean, if you need a play, a big third down play. I remember Dick Vermeil, when he was coaching, he said that Ricky Prohl doesn't start, but he's one of the most valuable players on our team. And these are the type of plays that Ricky Prohl needs, makes. I mean, you need a play, you need a first down, you look for number 87.
Don't the Tampa Bay Bucks know that from the NFC Championship game in '99. 1st and 10. Bulger escapes the R.W. McQuarters near sack and then is able to complete it to Isaac Bruce. And Bruce takes it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
What a big play by Marc Bulger. I mean, those are the kind of plays that the big, strong quarterbacks make. Marc Bulger is not a big, strong guy, but all you have to do when you feel that pressure coming is dip your shoulder a little. You see, he feels it. He dips his shoulder, then he spins out, and again, he's not looking at the rush. Watch, he doesn't look at the rush. He doesn't look at the line. He's always looking downfield for a receiver.
At 48 minutes into the game, as you look at the frustrated McQuarters, Bulger has a 300-yard night. Exactly 300, 17 of 26. To the ground again, to Gordon. A hard yard. So Bulger looking for all the world like a guy in his 5th year instead of his 5th game. Since 1950, over the past 52 years, there it is. No quarterback has ever thrown for more yards in their first 5 starts than this guy. That's a pretty eclectic list. Blake, Hogaboom, Gerback, Testaverde.
That's a word for it, eclectic. I mean, you expect to see names like Elway and Marino and those guys up there, and that's not the list. But how does a guy have 5 games like this then not start in the 6th?
Yeah, 2nd down and 9. Pressure again. Bulger throwing it away. Conwell in the area. 3rd down.
Yeah, I'll say one thing about this Chicago Bear team, though. They've hung in there. I mean, the Bulger will get something going. I mean, he has the yardage. He'll get a play going. But this Bear team will always come up with a play. I mean, they come up with a defensive play. They come up with a pressure. They create long yardage. They get a special teams play. You'd think a team that has lost 7 in a row would be a little down. These guys have a heck of a lot of fight in them.
And coming off a game in which they blew a 21-point lead last week at home, or sort of home in Champaign. 3rd down and 9. Bulger throws, caught at the 31-yard line by Edwards. And Edwards takes it to the 28, and that's close to a first, the ex-Steeler.
And they like Troy Edwards here in the St. Louis Rams because, when they got Terrence Wilkins, they thought that he would take Oz Hakeem's place. And for some reason, he's really never picked up the offense. So then they got Troy Edwards, and he has. So he's become that Oz Hakeem of this year.
They're going to measure. It also appeared as if he got a great spot. They spot the ball at the 28-yard line. There's the catch.
Ooh, that looked like he was a little short there of the yellow line. Of course, the yellow line not being official, and they gave him the spot just across the yellow line.
Just across, and by about a third of the length of the football, they get a first down. That's one of those, it's a challengeable call for Giron, but I mean, where in the world is Austin going to put the ball beside where he just put it? Not worth the challenge. I would agree with that at that point. First and 10 at the 28-yard line. 10 minutes to play. Bulger. Incomplete. Intended for Hodgins. Here's the playoff picture at the moment. Packers and Bucks each 8-2. So they would get the byes. Remember, the third and fourth best division winners will have to play in a wild card game. Right now, that's the Eagles and the 49ers, which, by the way, is our matchup next Monday. Saints and Falcons, if the season ended right now, they would go in. The Giants would just miss. And the Rams, if they go to 5-5 tonight, still fighting an uphill battle. Second down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Bulger. Bruce taken down at the 8-yard line by Mike Brown. 20 yards, and Isaac Bruce tonight has caught a half dozen balls for 141 yards.
You know what they're doing? They're going maximum protection. Look, see, they have the tight end in here, and then they just keep this side solid. They keep a back in here, so they're keeping 2 extra blockers in there to give Marc Bulger that type of time to find Isaac Bruce. You feel sometimes that Isaac Bruce just sits around the first quarter, second quarter, then the third and fourth quarter comes alive.
Like last week.
We talk about maximum protection. That last picture was a picture of maximum protection.
First and goal. Fake to Gordon to the end zone. Hold in. Ricky Prohl, touchdown.
Again, maximum protection. Here's Ricky Prohl out here. They only have 2 men running pattern. Ricky Prohl starts on a cross. You see right there, he knows that he's open there. Marc Bulger gets it out to him. Now watch the protection. All these guys are going to block because it's only a 2-man pattern. So they have the tight end on this side, the back on the other side. This back here, they picked up everything.
Point after by Wilkins as the Rams go 82 yards to turn a 1-point game into an 8-point game with 9 minutes left in the fourth.
You know, watching that touchdown again, the 2 Bear safeties, Mike Green and Mike Brown, picked each other off. It was a maximum protection, and only 2 receivers running the pattern, and the 2 Bear safeties ran into each other.
Green and Brown turning the Bears blue as Merritt brings it back up to the 25-yard line. Bulger tonight, 337 yards. Proud Papa. Whom would have thought? I'd have to edit the promo copy on the fly here. From the 25-yard line, first and 10 for Chicago. St. Louis by 8. Thomas taken down.
Let's watch that touchdown again. Here's Ricky Prohl. Here's Holt over on this side, and they're just going to run crossing patterns. We'll watch it here in the clicker, and we'll see as he starts to cross, and we just stop it right here. The Bears, the two safeties knocked each other out, and Ricky Prohl comes out the other side. In fact, Mike Green and Mike Brown still don't know where Ricky Prohl came from or where each other came from.
2nd down and 10. That's knocked down. Low throw. Ryan Pickett is right there.
I think one of the big things with Ryan Pickett is they moved him to nose tackle, and I think that's his position. They were trying to play him at what they call the 3 technique, and he's better right in here where he's on the guard in the center and just getting a push straight up the middle because he's playing the run well, and he has a good feel for that, getting up the middle and taking away a lane with your hand.
3rd and 10. Chandler, they have him by the shirt, and that's incomplete. Leonard Little got there again, and Chandler's shaking. Gets up gimpily.
Now, Leonard Little is the guy. I mean, he's the speed out there, and if you can get him outside and on those speed rushes, these big tackles have a tough time. You know, that's the way football's going now. The offensive linemen have gotten so big. I mean, they're weighing like 340, 350 pounds, and they're having trouble with these smaller speed rushers.
Maynard. Fair caught by Wilkins at the 30. Chandler's shaken up, and the Bears are down by 8, and the Rams have the ball with under 8 to play. St. Louis. Downtown St. Louis. Edward Jones Dome. Chicago, 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Chandler. Booker. Gain of about 7.
You know, tonight I'm leaving. I'm going to be going out 70 and then up 80. But you know what's happening tonight? Meteor showers. I just heard that. So if and I heard local time, it's like between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. So I don't know if I'll stay up that late or get up that early, but
you have to.
You can't beat a meteor shower.
No, you're going to be what?
How many times do you see a meteor shower in your life?
This is supposed to be like the best one for the next 100 years. 2nd and 2. And that's caught down the sideline by Stanley Pritchett. Big catch. And the Bears, and I described them before as resilient, are exactly that.
You know, Stanley Pritchett has been a pretty big part of this passing game. I know even in watching film, you know, they'll put him in, and he's a fullback, he's a running back, but he's also like a tight end. You know, they get him up there and they get him out of the backfield. And remember earlier they tried to get him on a swing. In fact, they finally got that play on him that they tried to do earlier.
Here are the Bears now at the 29-yard line. Slow in getting the play in, and the Bears are going to be forced to spend a timeout. Their first, they have 2 left. Timeout Chicago with a little under 6 minutes to play now in regulation.
See, now, when was the last meteor shower?
I don't know.
Well, they may fall right past you as you're flying, but
you have room on the bus tonight?
Yeah, I mean, then you can look. It'll be a sight. And the thing is, but they say because there's a full moon.
Yep.
You see that may affect the meteor shower. You may not be able to see it as brightly.
Well, Marc's meteor shower notwithstanding is going to challenge where the ball was spotted.
St. Louis is challenging where the runner went out of bounds on the previous play.
They, for the moment, have spotted the ball at the 29-yard line. That's where they say Pritchett went out. Now let's take another peek here. And,
right, he stepped there.
Yeah,
it was his left foot.
Now the question becomes,
see that left foot, I think.
If not the left, five or 6 yards.
As you're right, if they don't put it on the 36, then they have to put it on the 35. Stanley Pritchett's a big guy, though, isn't he? When he goes running down the sideline, that's a definition of a load going down the sideline.
It's a first down regardless, so all March is asking for here as he uses his first challenge. And interestingly, only the second challenge he's used all year. I mean, March had led in challenges per game since he took over in 2000, and then he made his first challenge last week and the second challenge right here.
See, here's where the right foot is out right there. So it would have to come back, and then the right foot is right on the line right there. So it would have to be right on the 35-yard line. And the one thing that would affect is now if the 35-yard line, of course it's first down, but that would be a 52-yard field goal.
After reviewing the play, it's not definitive on the first step near the sideline. But on the second step, he's out at the 35. It'll be first and 10 at the 35. St. Louis has not charged a timeout.
The crowd is booing like crazy just because of the verbiage used by Austin. I mean, it's a difference of 1 yard.
Well, he said a negative thing first.
Right.
If it's a home crowd, you should always say the positive thing. Say, he did step out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds at the 35-yard line, and everyone would be happy.
Right.
But when you go to a negative thing, then you go to a positive thing, the people don't always hear the positive because they just listen to the negative.
Well, as we said before, Jerry's not used to announcing overturns.
Good thing.
First and 10. So that's the Rams about 6 yards.
Well, see, then if they could get a blitz and throw them for a loss here, they can knock them out of field goal range if they haven't already.
From the 35-yard line, first and 10. Thomas. I don't know, John. If I'm the Bears right now, I'm not even thinking, as a flag is thrown, I'm not even thinking about a field goal because you're still going to have to get a touchdown. Even if you get a field goal, it's a 5-point game. You're still going to have to get in the end zone.
I think with 5 minutes.
58 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Now they're out of field goal range.
That was a big play there. But I would think with 5 minutes, 51 seconds, if you could get a field goal attempt within 5 minutes, I think that I would kick the field goal because then you have an opportunity to kick off, hold them, get the ball back, or you have an opportunity to try an onside kick. Remember, that's how the Rams won last week. I mean, they scored, then they got an onside kick, and then they went in and scored again.
I think it's going to depend a lot on what you need on fourth down. First, if they get to that point. First and 20 from the 45-yard line. Chandler. And it is not intercepted inbounds. It's Dre Bly coming up with it, but out of bounds.
It's not intercepted. It was still a heck of a catch by Dre Bly. You know, and then we go back. I know what you're thinking. You go back to that 2 points. And, you know, the Bears should have gone for the 2 points. Then you wouldn't have to worry about field goal and touchdown.
Right.
You see, Marty Booker, after this play, he stays down.
He's still down. He's hurt.
Ray Bly made a heck of a reception there. Marty Booker looked like he got his left leg caught up in Ray Bly's leg.
Yeah, stepped on Bly.
The injured Chicago Bear, 86, Marty Booker.
So their ace receiver, he's caught 7 passes tonight for 65 yards.
You know, we talked about Achilles tendons earlier. That's the area that they're checking right there is Booker's Achilles tendon. It's a tendon that runs up from the back of the heel up the back of your leg. See him feeling all the way up. Sure. That's exactly what he's testing.
Yep. And that, you know, clearly is a very serious injury. Aeneas Williams, who went out a few games ago, the great cornerback, probably headed to the Hall of Fame after his career. Again, Booker stepping on Bly. on the way down. Trying to jump over him, and he jumped on him.
Yeah, and did you see the right ankle just kind of twist as it goes down? In fact, it looks like he's all right. I mean, he's up and walking off the field now. And it's easy to say he's all right, but that's always a good sign when they walk off the field.
Back to the Bay Area. The Jets against Oakland. John gets to go home for 2 weeks.
Right, and both those teams looked good yesterday. And then the 49ers let one get away from them.
They did.
And maybe San Diego took one away from them.
But the Jets got back to 500. Raiders won last night. 2nd and 20 from the 45-yard line, and they give it to Thomas, and he only picks up 3 to the 42. Stopped there by Tommy Polley.
You know, again, getting back to that challenge and that 5 yards, it doesn't seem like a lot because it was first down, but it still created something. I mean, it took the Bears, and they were going forward and made them go backward, and then they get a penalty, and then you know, and now they can't get back to that original line of scrimmage. I mean, this Ram defense just has this bear offense going backwards.
And it stopped the flow of the game, too, and that didn't help the Bears. 3rd down and 17 from the 42-yard line. Booker's back in. Chandler on a slant that's Des White to the 33. So if you're Duran, you're thinking about a 50-yard field goal to draw to within 5, and he's going to send the field goal unit out there.
And that's exactly what he's going to do. But you know, we talk about guys unloading. Watch Adam Archuleta on this one, number 31, and he's going to come in from right here. Now watch, he just reads that thing and he just zeroes in. And you talk about no helmet to helmet. He just got shoulder pad to shoulder pad.
50-yard attempt. The real downside for the Bears here, if he misses it, the Rams get the ball at the 40-yard line. This guy's good.
He is really good.
Really good.
He goes through that whole thing and gets all that routine going. And then, what do you say about that golf swing? You swing with your big muscle?
Your big muscles, right.
Big muscles.
Big muscles.
Edinger gets his big muscle in there. Everything he said, it's like golf, and you know your kick is like your golf swing, and he gets that thing going. Watch him here. He starts this, and he gets that little thing, then 1, 2, and then he does a twist, and then he still has one more twist. There, he has that twist. But see, now he gets that torque, and big muscle. Is that what you do?
You know, the thing about this kid is almost every time I watch him kick a field goal, I mean, it's right down Broadway. Yeah. It's right down the middle.
I mean, you talk about splitting the pipes. Yep. He split the pipes exactly. Now with 3:48 and they have 2 timeouts, I don't think that they have to kick an onside kick here. Nope. I would say that they're lining up like they're going to kick an onside. The Rams will come out in what we call a hands team or onside prevent. And I think I would get them in that onside prevent and then kick it deep. In fact, the Rams better get someone deep. They don't have anyone deep right now.
Nobody. The deepest guy's at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I would just kick the ball deep. Because, you know, you have to field the kickoff. Remember that. So if you kick the ball deep, the Bears could go and recover it deep. That's exactly what he did.
And there's no Ram back there except Yoel Murphy, who has to retreat, and then Murphy has to get out of the way because Dre Bly goes back to take it away, and Leon Johnson gets down there to tackle him at the 16-yard line. So they have 2 timeouts defensively plus the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I'm surprised that the Rams didn't have somebody back. As you say, here's the closest guy. He's on the 30-yard line, so the Bears did exactly what they had to. Now, this is a live ball. You see, if they could have bounced, got a little more bounce this way, then they could have had a chance to pick it up. I mean, it's not an onside kick. It's a regular kick, but, again, it's a live ball.
Now the pressure is on the Bear defense. Urlacher and company from the 15-yard line to get the ball back. Gordon to string him out. And does he get out of bounds? He does not. Brian Urlacher and Roosevelt Colvin.
Yeah, see, and as you said, Al, they have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Plus, if they stop him, an automatic timeout at change of possession. So that's really, in essence, 4 timeouts.
Here are the Rams' guns tonight. Bulger, 337 through the year. Bruce has caught 6. Gordon's done all right. 3 yards per carry, but it seems like he's had a better game than that. Rams are going to take all of their time. Gordon, by the way, has also caught 4 balls for 52 yards. 2nd and 9. Play clock goes all the way down, and Bulger takes a timeout.
Ooh, now that's like having 3 timeouts, because now they get the Rams timeout, 2 of their own, 2-minute warning, and change of possession.
The upside is they took 39 of the 40 seconds off the play clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rams would like to take the following wrestlers for their support. George's Choice, Trailhead, Chevy Sportsman, Rapid Red, Trey Bunny, Eddie Ford,
Again, stopping them from getting the first down.
They empty the backfield, 2nd down and 9 from the 16-yard line. 4-man rush. Bulger flushed out. Throws incomplete. Perfect for the Bears. Just perfect. Stops the clock. No gain. Conserves the timeout.
See, and the Bears are going to have plenty of time here. Now, if they can stop him. Now, the Rams, again, and Mike Marc is thinking, I can't go for one of these underneath things because I need a first down. If I don't get a first down, I have to punt. I mean, there's no way that they could do anything else other than punt. And then the Bears are not only going to get the ball back, but they're going to have pretty good field position if they can stop him on this down.
If they can stop him, and even if they stop him inbounds, they take their timeout. They're going to have 2:40 or so left, and in effect 2 timeouts, their own plus the 2-minute warning. 3rd down and 9 from the 16-yard line. Bulger chased out, throws, diving at the 26. He caught it for a first down. Torrey Holt. Big play, Torrey Holt.
He said he was big play. He throws that ball back, and I'll tell you, Marc Bulger made a heck of a play too. I mean, he had to throw it where he could get a first down. He had to throw it where Torrey Holt could catch it, and he had to get to the outside. See him? He gets a rush. He gets a pressure from the inside. He gets to the outside, and he throws a dart right here. Torrey Holt knows that he has to get down. 1 knee equals 2 feet. All you have to do is catch the ball, and when your 1 knee goes down, then you're down.
What a play.
I'll tell you, and that what Marc Bulger did is putting the ball exactly where you wanted it. And they had a good pass rush. I mean, Rosie Colvin was in there, and he flushed him out. I mean, he made Bulger run. And as we said earlier, Marc Bulger has proven, and he's proven again tonight, that he can make all the throws.
Bears have to take a timeout on 1st down. They have 1 left plus the 2-minute warning.
So now we go through the same thing. Again, the Rams have to get another first down. The Bears have to stop them from getting a first down.
They need at least 1 more first down to be able to run the clock out. Gordon to the 29. Chicago's going to take its timeout here. And then it'll be 2nd down, and then it'll be 3rd down if they don't pick up the first at the 2-minute warning with the clock stoppage. Marc Bulger never threw an NFL pass until October. Until week 6. Warner, of course, started the first 3 games, hurt in the 4th. Jamie Martin came in and played almost the whole game against Dallas, then played at San Francisco. Then because of a bad knee, Bulger got the break. Opened up against Oakland. And as you go back to Warner's first 5 starts in the year 1999, when, of course, he led them to the Super Bowl after the Trent Green injury, that's how he did. There's Bulger's first 5 starts, his numbers. More yardage. TD interception ratio, close.
And Kurt Warner's starting next week.
Yeah. 2nd and 7. Gordon He's going to come up a little short of the first down, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. So that's going to stop the clock for the last time, and it's as simple as this. If the Rams get another first down, they can end the game. If not, the Bears are still in it, hanging in it. Down by 5 is Chicago as we come to the 2-minute warning in St. Louis. Rams trying to make it 5 straight. Bears trying to avoid losing 8 straight.
I thought he was a nose tackle for the Bears against the Packers against old Buckets.
That's right. Horse trailer. Whom will it do on the horse trailer? Who'll be on that horse thing?
The only thing I know about the horse trailer is the media is going to, what they call it? Meteors are going to shower on the horse trailer tonight as it goes across the country. So
right.
whatever on it's going to get showered upon.
There's our trailer heading west.
Yep, we got them all lined up. We got trucks and trailers and the horse trailers.
Horse trailers.
The whole deal. All lined up, ready to head out west.
We're going west. But our man Fred Godelli, our illustrious producer, and Jill Godelli will welcome into the world tomorrow a baby girl. And Freddie, get used to that sound.
Yep, and our best wishes to both of them.
Yep. A great day for you tomorrow. 3rd down and 1 from the 34-yard line. And Gordon doesn't get the first. So Chicago's going to get one last gasp. Mike Green comes up to save the day, at least temporarily.
And again, we talked that with the change of possession. Now the clock will continue to run until the change of possession. And then when the ball is kicked and returned, then the clock will stop until the next down. So the Bears, without having any timeout, will get a change of possession timeout.
And Mitch Bulger will wait. They'll snap it at the last possible moment. Play clock is at 10. Good high deep kick, fielded at the 12 by Leon Johnson, and Leon brings it back to the 24. So a field goal does Chicago no good. They'll have to go 76 yards in 67 seconds or less.
And the thing that they have to do, again, you have to think of throwing the ball up the field because, you know, they're gonna stop you from getting out of bounds. Now that's the first thing you'd like to do: complete the ball, get it out of bounds. But if you can't get a first down, so then the quarterback can come up and spike it, and you give it down away, but you still have 3. The worst thing you can do, of course, is get sacked. The second worst thing is an incomplete, a short pass and a tackle would be the second worst thing.
So the ball now at the 25. They have to go 75 yards after the spot in 1:07. The pressure Chandler. He throws it a little bit behind Booker, and then Dre Bly kicks it away. The Rams came close to an interception.
Yeah, I mean, now I think in these next shots, I think you have to throw passes beyond 10 yards. Again, you know, you try and get out of bounds, but again, if you get a first down, you can get a spike.
Second and 10 from the 25. Chandler sacked, 7 sacks. Damian Lewis with the magnificent 7th.
Yep, and that's the thing that they couldn't afford, or they could least afford, is a sack. And as I said, they've been going after Chris Chandler all night. I thought the offensive line did a better job in the second half, but now they have to throw every down, and they're going to come all out.
They need 15, and that's tipped away by Dre Bly. So Chicago down to its last gasp.
Dre Bly's playing a lot better. I mean, he's playing with a lot more confidence, and you know, he's a pretty good player. But this is what they have to do. You can work the whole field, but you have to throw it beyond that first down marker so that you can get first down. You know, you just don't have to work the outside. Just work anywhere. But now you're talking about it has to be at least a 20-yard pass darn near.
Bears have to get to the 35-yard line, or the game is over.